purple dioxide, squeezing the tube. And it shot, and this doesn't happen often. Instead of going out this, I was like, come on.
Shot up the top.
It shot out the top like a volcanic explosion orgasm.
There's a performance. Yeah.
Okay. And what goes up must come down.
Wow.
Right. So not only did it land on me, but there was a $30,000 screen behind me. And that screen was much larger than the canvas. And it went on the screen.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I was looking at a lot of your art, and you can really draw a face, okay? And not many people can really draw a good face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to draw a good face. I've seen artists, they draw the body, they draw flowers, they draw all sorts of stuff. Can't get a face.
The face
I'm
looks
still practicing.
Yeah,
Noses really mess me up.
Noses are
Ear
tricky.
proportions.
Right.
You know, I can really suck at that sometimes. But the eyes and like the mouth and all the senses that run through this portal right here.
Yeah.
I'm just so drawn to that as a form of expression for me because so much happens here.
Everything.
Yeah,
right?
I can understand that. So what did you start to realize you could draw?
I was drawn to painting, and I often say that I actually suck at drawing. Weird thing.
Oh, really?
Painters may not be great drawers.
Right.
Drawers
I understand that.
sometimes can't paint.
Right.
So we might not always be in symbiosis. There are certain things I do draw really well. I'm a great doodler.
Yeah.
I'm a great landscaper. I learned how to landscape. Believe it, true story. Bob Ross, guy in the 80s, Afro.
I've watched a ton of
Me
his
and my
stuff.
sister Mel, we were like, oh my God, how did you do that?
Right. But he starts with a liquid white on the entire canvas. That's part of his technique, right?
So oils, right? And they blend in. And then he's got this, he's a master.
Oh, yeah.
He's a master. And so I was like, Mom, buy me all the books. I want to go to the store, buy me all the books. I want to try that. And I essentially copied Bob Ross
Yeah. I believe
into trying to organize the layers of what a landscape would be. And it started coming forth. And I would show my friends and their minds were blown.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I failed math and English and they're like, can you do my art project?
Yeah.
I'll do, and then we would just like swap homework and I would
did
kick
that
their
in
ass on
college.
art.
Right.
Right? Like I'd kick their ass on this thing and then you do things for your friends and they do things for you and you're like,
Totally.
you figure it out and you get by.
Yeah.
And so I was pretty young when I figured it out, but it was also as like a super high energy person who's restless, who can't contain their energy, who's like flying through the universe, painting and drawing actually calmed me down as a child, and it relaxed me into being able to focus on something.
Yeah, that's
we
very
didn't have
nice.
all the terminologies of like ADHD and ADD, and I'm
No.
like, okay, we all are a little bit. And
It depends on what
so
you're doing.
that subject, fully embodied me, and we were good friends. My sister also was like, an aspiring whatever. We didn't even know what we were.
Yeah.
So we tried to figure shit out.
Yeah.
How do you do this? How do you make a hill with trees?
Right.
Yeah.
How do you paint the sky? Well, I want to paint your face. Let's do, so you just play.
Well, it's funny how things that are so abstract ultimately look a lot like the real scene.
Absolutely. And who's to say that is exactly what it looks like for everybody
Right.
at all times?
Right.
Things and our perspective, they're altered. Lighting, night, dark, far, close. All of these perspectives are things that we might not think about on the daily, but they actually have a huge impact on what your art might look like and what things that, that's blue. Well, that's not actually that blue to everybody.
Right.
Things are altered. Things change.
Yeah. And, take it to the far end of the spectrum with this. In technology and with like graphic interfaces and software, you have, is it accessible or not? Or like a website, is it accessible or not?
That was a huge hurdle for, I think, I think we're almost around the same age. I think I was in the early 2000s for my first site. And when I saw my shit on the computer, I think I cried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was really happy.
that was a huge step for all of us 20 years ago.
I'm on the internet. Yay.
Right. And now you can just push a button and you have a template and you can upload your stuff and like, okay, cool. Got it. It's just so,
Yeah, it is
what we
wild.
went through.
Oh, yeah. It's brutal.
Those
so
early
primitive.
days, yeah.
You have a tear in your eye right now.
Yes.
It's
Well, I
so
think
emotional.
back, like, that was around the time that I knew you, was when I had just started like my blog, and I had just had CaseyStewart.com.
Yeah,
it was
I remember.
But that was like, I knew it was before Twitter was invented. There was no Instagram. It was like just coming out of the MySpace days. But I was like, this is going to be something someday. And here we are almost 20 years later.
You gave me shivers.
That has been my whole thing, that's built my career.
Totally.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
And this is your destiny.
I think around that time was when you were just getting your studio.
Man,
Around then? I don't know.
I think I was in my basement.
Yeah.
And I built the walls, just the basement walls.
Okay.
That was
was the studio.
Mid 2000s. I was just in a little cubby crying my eyes out because I couldn't see. I didn't have proper lighting and I didn't have space, and I like to work large. So if you like to work large and you don't have lighting, there's nothing, there's just nowhere you're going with artwork.
Yeah,
I was
need
painting
space.
outside in natural light. The paint was drying from the sun too fast. The wind would blow the painting off the table.
Right.
It was a freaking mess. There's a lot of nightmares that happen to get to the studio that I have now, which is the dream space. I have 2,400 square feet. I'm in the design district of Toronto.
Yeah,
I am
amazing.
very easily accessible.
Yeah.
The amount of years and work and hours we have all fought to have access to what we want to provide for this world.
Yeah.
That's a heavy, that's a heavy, topic right there. It's huge. We've hustled hard.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
totally.
We keep hustling.
Right.
It doesn't stop.
And you're working in conditions that really aren't conducive to what you want to accomplish too, a lot of the times.
No one's giving it to me. I've got to build my own.
Yeah,
you got to build it yourself.
You can dream it, but you're so far from building it.
Yeah, it's not even fathomable.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so far away.
Like when we started Hover, you're looking at a to-do list and items that are just like unfathomable to get through the amount of work.
I get it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
totally get it. It's wild.
So the Bob Ross gives you your start.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're creating largely outdoor landscape stuff.
Basically, yeah. And I had just started stepping into this like free-handed sketch, which turned into an abstract color blocking. I took all of my work.
Yeah.
My mom dropped me off at, a few universities, and they were like, well, why do you want to be in the arts program? I'm like, that's what I want to do.
Right.
What do you mean?
Right.
This is it.
What type of question is that?
I'm making art here.
And I have to make decisions about my life. First of all, that's out of control.
Yeah.
Right.
How do you know where the hell you want to go at 17? You haven't tried.
I have no clue.
Right.
You've
Your frame of reference is this big compared to the world. Like, how can you possibly make a life decision at that point where you're like, I'm going to make a decision that's going to put me on a trajectory for the rest of my life? And you're like, I don't even like.
That was hell. That was total hell.
But you know what, though? At 17, you can tell what that person's good at. Like, bottom line, if a 17-year-old came up to me and I felt that they were a good artist or good at anything, it's probably a pretty good bet to encourage them to just pursue something they're good at.
I was a crazy athlete and an artist, which is such a weird combination.
Yeah, that's a weird combination. What type
not
of
common.
athlete?
Every sport,
anything.
I was like this anything. It was. I just was almost first. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I chose art. I was like, well,
wow.
It's not those other subjects.
Yeah, you're
so it's going to be something abstract. It's and so I went for art, and
like gymnastics.
I was a crazy gymnast.
Oh,
I was a tennis player.
Damn, girl, you got it all.
I was a track star. I was like the 5th fastest in Southern Ontario for a while.
Wow.
I was like, my nickname was Sonic because my hair was just like crazy in the wind. I was just like this
At what
flashing
school? This
blue
is like
light.
In high school?
Yeah, elementary and high school. Yeah,
wow.
It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
I was pretty dedicated. And then I thought, I really want clothes and I want to work after school. So volleyball and track practice before school. There's not enough hours in the day for all the shit I want to do.
Yeah, that's what happened to me with hockey.
See?
I was into hockey, and then it was just like, how much do you want me to play?
Yeah, and the wear and tear on the bod. And the wear and tear on the bod.
What
and
time?
The money.
Yeah.
Parents, money, not happening. I was like, I got to go make my own money. So I guess I'm going into fashion and design, and I'll figure things out. I don't know.
So you go down an arts path, but that's a fashion and design. I guess that's the...
Well, I didn't get into any art school. So I was, they had like totally trashed my my whole, they trashed
losers.
My grades weren't over 80 and
What type of artist are they looking for?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It was like, your color's good. You're okay. You know, do you have 80s? I was like, no, I don't have 80s. I'm not that academic. I want to learn body parts and anatomy and color theory and contrast. Yes. And I want to paint people and I want to do things.
Right.
I don't want to like add and subtract. Like,
right.
Really. I mean,
like, I don't want to write an essay about this. I just want to paint it.
Yeah. Like, this is a different mathematical equation here. You know, there's just,
do you do this because you're left-handed?
No, I'm just like, you know, I measure out the body and things, and there is math to
totally.
There's math to that,
but it's just not the same type of.
Casey's just trying to find another lefty.
Yeah. I love lefties. I'm very interested in lefties.
Yeah, me too. So I picked Casey because
that's why I'm the perfect co-host.
We can eat beside each other.
Nice. Yeah.
At a bar, we can eat.
Yeah.
I was like, also, I feel like if you look at like Nelson, this vibe, and then you look at this vibe, and you're like, who's left-handed?
Right.
Look at this. Look at this.
Let's think about it. Hard to tell. Yeah. I love your green pants right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want the burden of the decision.
Right. You just pick it, move on.
Pick it. I got,
Time is energy.
But that being said, I do like clothes, and I do like the burden of a decision, but not my everyday.
Yeah. Right. Well, there's a lot of podcasts in theory. Like if you have something that you go to and the time and how you spend that time during the day, totally. Time management is, hey, it's like one less thing you have to think about. There's like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs
could edit together.
They do that.
You could edit together a bunch of these episodes. I'd be in the
same outfit, and I have a different outfit every time. But for me,
I like that though.
But for me, picking the outfit,
I know you do.
My outfit is an expression of who I am and my personality, and it changes every day.
We've always been that way.
I've always.
Baby, I was born this way.
Do you know what is quite funny?
It's true.
There's a story that my mom tells sometimes that even when I was a little kid that I used to always want to pick out my own clothes and my mom would lay out. So it didn't get too crazy. My mom would lay out this outfit and this outfit. And then I would always just pick something from this and something from this. And I was leaving the house probably like 6 or 7 and I had 2 different socks on and like a funky outfit. And the neighbor said, "You're going to let her go to school like that?" And my mom just said, if she feels confident in wearing that outfit, she can go right ahead. And that's here we are now.
I am a mismatched sock master, and you can't mess with that. Don't care. Yeah. Who cares? But there is something to like nice, clean, brand new matching socks. I'll say that.
Oh,
I know that's what you're thinking.
I could do mismatched socks, but I'm not sure if I could do a thin dress sock and a thicker sock.
Oh, no.
I don't know if I could do that.
That's a tough thing.
I'm a little bit more
that would drive me nuts all day.
I could do colors.
Whooshing around my toes, wondering in my shoes, are these the same socks?
Yeah, no, I know.
What did I do?
No, mine definitely are.
Mine are also the same.
Why did this help me? Up here with my fingers.
No, that's what it feels. Yeah, that's what it feels like. This is kind of like Casey was talking about this ASMR yesterday. Yes, Casey has trouble with people chewing too close to her.
Misophonia. I don't like the. It came up in my 23andMe that I am more likely disposed to. I don't like when I hear people chewing.
Yep.
It actually sends me into like almost like a it makes a rage.
Are you enraged?
I need to fucking get out of here.
I get it.
Wow.
Yeah. Certain people trigger me.
Yeah, it's a fight or flight. I'm like,
I know there is a real trigger there.
Yeah.
And some people don't bother me about it at all. I'm like, I could care less.
It's the chewing, and also another thing that sends me also into it, like audio sends me into a bit of a rage, is jazz music.
Like freeform jazz?
Like freeform jazz. Heart starts racing because it's too squiggly.
Yeah,
I understand that.
I can't.
I don't understand jazz either.
I actually like
that type of jazz.
Yeah, I start to.
How do you even know where to go in your instrumentation? Because I'm playing music right now, and we're really energetically flowing from one another, and we're using the loopers, and we're doing all this stuff. Jazz, it's a wild beast.
Yes, sure is.
Yes.
Especially jazz singing.
Wild. What?
You ever heard jazz singing where somebody uses their voice as a bit of an instrument? I don't like that.
No, I don't want to hear it. Do not play it for me later. Do not mention that.
If you're like that, you don't want to hear it. But I'm a musician too. I'm a drummer.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
All my teens was deep into music.
Nice.
That's why setting this up
Yeah, Nell did all the setup.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, easy.
You know how to do the tech and AV. So.
And it's all very accessible. Not to bring that word of, but it's
no,
more
can you come over to my studio? Because I really need some help with my audio visuals.
I could come to your studio.
I just need to be shown, and then
What's
I probably
your setup
can
consist of?
So right now we have a few subs. We've got a few monitors. We have some decent Yamaha 12-inch speakers.
Yeah. And
they're on some tripod situations, and we're trying to get some even sound throughout the room because we are packing in. We had our launch on March 7th for our Twilight Tuesday.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you about this.
Tuesdays are something that's been happening for me as just like a manifestation of what I want to see in my weekly life. It's 30-minute breath work, and then it's a sound bath. We call it Twilight Tuesdays because they happen on Tuesdays and they happen in my gallery.
Is this in the evening? Awesome. Why have I not been?
They're
coming.
in the evening, and the doors open at 7:30 and it starts at 8.
Wow.
And I'm at 660 Caledonia Road.
That's my vibe.
At Caledonia and
Caledonia. You got a convenient Tim Hortons there, 24 hours. Yeah.
Home Depot, Lowe's,
Home Depot too. I know that
Canada
area.
Goose, Cosentino,
Oh, okay.
LT
I know
Market.
You're right in that. That's a good area.
I'm like right there.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to come.
Yeah.
I just finished Tuesday pottery class, so that has now wrapped. And Tuesdays are free, so I would like to join.
Oh, you are such like a guest. Please come through the door. You won't regret it. So that's happening. So we really want to get this like sound down.
Yes.
I just ordered a new bracket for my projector. The projector, I have a second one. We usually put on like an element. Last week was a fire element.
Nice.
This round was a kaleidoscope, and we had another sort of air element, just like some birds flying.
Cool.
You can wear an eye mask. You can have your eyes open. There's a lot of light simulation, and there's a ton of crystal bowls, drum. We have flute. We have a handpan.
All right. I will come and check it out.
We have the chimes, and the list of instruments just keeps on growing. So
That's
it's pretty freaking
fantastic.
awesome.
I love a sound.
Kind of the best part of my life, right?
Definitely check it out.
That is so awesome.
Phil Jacobs from Twilight Tuesday is from Toronto Sound Therapy. He's got every degree. I won't list all of the talents and wonderful attributes that he possesses, but he is the master behind Twilight Tuesday, who does most of the sound bath and facilitates the breath work as well. Yeah, he's the boss.
I've dabbled in a little breath work.
Oh, yeah.
There's something to it.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Very powerful stuff.
Years ago, I went to, had finished CES, and then I drove from Vegas to LA, and I met a couple girl at CES, and then I drove to LA, and I was staying at her house, and she's like, "Do you want to come to a sound bath?" And I was like, "What's a sound bath?"
Yep.
So I grabbed a blanket, and I went to this thing, and like,
a lot of people think there's a water element to it.
It was
you
the
just lay down and
most
relax.
transformative thing. I swear, I don't care how woo-woo it sounds.
Yes.
It was so transformative that I came back after that trip, and I actually made changes in my life that are still going today. Like nothing in my life has made an impact that was like, some shit needs to change.
These
and it's happening now.
Come out every week after that hour and a half.
It really, really impacted me. And like, I have not been the same person since before that happened and after.
Bravo, because every single week there is another story that comes out of that hour and a half experience. And it's indescribable. There's no words to what I say is it shows you the unseen. And like the unseen becomes seen. What you need to see from yourself. People are like, what do I have to do?
Just be.
You have to do nothing. What do you mean? I don't have time to do nothing. I'm always doing stuff. I know. That's why you need to come.
Right.
And actually do nothing.
Right.
And shut the fuck up and close your eyes and do nothing. There's no talking. I'm like, there's no talking.
Yeah. That's the best
Can
part.
you handle it? No, I don't think I can come.
I know some people I think can't handle it.
If you're not ready for it, babe,
perfect.
Cool. No worries.
Perfect. Don't come.
When you're ready, don't come.
Don't come.
It's not for you.
It's not for you.
It's not for you.
Right. Perfect.
Love you.
I like that. When
keep
people
going
flip
on your
themselves,
keep going on your journey. There. Don't check us out.
Your stressed out journey.
And you don't have to come to my sound bath. Just go to a damn sound bath for you. Oh, you know what, Jess? I'm coming over for you. I was like, no, this is not for me.
Don't come for me.
It's for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do anything. And so it's like, so there's a lot of like preconceived what I'm supposed to be doing. The bath part throws people off. I'm like, okay, chill.
You are bathing in sound.
Yeah, there's art everywhere. There's a lot of visual stimulation. There's sense stimulation. We really hit all the senses, except we don't really do some hands-on work. We just sort of leave you.
Yeah.
And we, like, because you're really, because you go really deep. Like, we just don't want to, we don't want to bother you inside of that journey. We just want you to fly away a bit and go have a nice cruise. Yeah. And then we bring you back. Yeah. So that's been a passion project for a while. And now that COVID is freaking over.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. We can have a full house. So we had a full house there on Tuesday.
Oh my
Which is
God.
how many people?
Around 45 to 50.
Wow.
Really?
Laying down in their own like cocoon, having their thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know people would love that.
Oh yeah. Well,
I'm right here.
Share the word.
Other people.
Yeah. Spread the love.
Yeah.
Non-ASMR people.
I'm not an ASMR person.
You're both my people, and you're both so welcome to join.
Oh, thank you so much.
Awesome. Yeah, I really love that.
Huge fan.
So
Huge fan.
You then got into live painting?
Early on as well with my sister.
Yeah, because you've been doing live painting for a while, right?
Yeah, so early, so in my teens, we just started showing up in places and we saw a few live painters and we're like, can we like hang out and do it with you? And they were like, yeah, man, here's a brush, do it. And it was always just cool and open. It wasn't like, this is my stage and this is where I do, like, don't touch my paints. It was always a cool vibe. Remember those days? We were all together. Mm-hmm. There's no VIP booth. There's no cell phones.
And
you walk up to someone, you say hi. There's no one was taking photos. We were together. Those were together days.
Totally.
Now, separated.
Mm-hmm.
So big form of separation, what you're doing and who's doing what, and they're not even with you in the room.
Yeah.
And, the phone's on, and it's like, it's a huge bonus to have this amazing instrument, but it's also like a real hinder because I want to be with you in your energy. Unless I don't want to be with you in your energy, then I'm out.
Right.
Then you're in the phone.
Right.
Then I'll be on my phone.
It fragments it a bit.
Yeah. So that was the name of my last collection. It was called Fragments, actually.
Wow.
And I launched that in New York. And that was before COVID because it's just been a shit show ever since. So, but yeah, it was a real broken, fragmented collection for me of like love and life and change. So, the art keeps forming over the years. Yeah. And thank you for checking me out. Just going all the way back to the beginning.
Well, it almost was a bit of the fragments.
Yeah,
fragments. It became more fragmented with COVID.
Yeah, it really did. It really did. So
like,
I should have done
what's
that
the word
now.
for that?
Yeah. See what that looks like.
Exactly.
Fragmented too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a word for that where you do something and then it was not a preface, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Foretelling or something.
I don't know the word.
But it's a word. Okay, so landscape art.
Yeah.
Then you get into live painting. When you say live painting, is this like people?
So live painting / performance art and I've been doing it for so long. I'm just like,
your teens.
It's a blank canvas from start to finish. Now the canvas could be something other than a piece of canvas that's stretched on a wooden frame. Mm-hmm. I've painted on ceilings, walls, humans, chandeliers, desks, screens, Porsches, all the cars, appliances, like,
oh my God.
The performance can be any format that is unpainted from start to finish. My version of a performance is start to finish during a certain amount of time for a corporate, private, or public or charitable event that I'm hired to do a piece for. Back in those together days, when there was no contracts for me and we were just free flowing, we showed up and they brought a wooden door from the back and they were like, here you go, guys, have fun with it. And we were just together doing it. I was like, let's put a little bit of blue there and we'll make a little door within the door there and then a person walking through the door there. And we had like a fun crew and we had a blast.
Yeah.
We were all under 19.
So does something like that sort of tiptoe organically and become what it's meant to be, or do you stand back and sort of say, this is what I want to do?
And that too.
A bit of both.
And that is both.
Also,
and both
they
ways.
both happen.
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, do you know, I was thinking about this, I asked Nelson before you got here. When you're working, if you're doing a live painting, I've seen lots of videos of you at like an auction or an event. Do you know what the painting is going to be before you paint it, or do you just go with the moment?
Both.
Okay.
I can correlate for 20 to 50 emails back and forth, deliberating on what your theme for a specific themed event should be.
Right.
Breast cancer, pink, the ribbon, 3,000 people, this size format, colored lighting.
2 hours.
Musical thing. Yeah. 20 minutes. They're all usually under 1 hour to 45 minutes. They're all like really speedy. They're tight.
Wow.
Yeah, they're tight. And I've learned that tight is actually more impressive for the audience who have absolutely no conscious stream of wanting to watch something in their attention span to continue that. It needs to either be something that is going on sort of simultaneous to other things, other musicians, other attractions, or it needs to be really fast and you're in and out and I'm in your face and I'm gone. You never see me again. But yeah, so do I know? Sometimes I know. Does it mean that that's what the painting will look like? Sometimes.
Right.
I had purple dioxide explode because I was trying to get it out of the tube onto my wax paper on Tuesday morning in Mississauga at the RBC Theatre. At 9:30 in the morning, I had a performance for 1,000 people, which never happens.
Wow.
Never booked on a Tuesday morning. I'm like, are you guys sure this is where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there? Because I will gladly show up in Mississauga at 9:30 in the morning. And this is gorgeous theater. And I've performed at, there's so many buildings there. I've performed there before. And that was an awesome show. And so anyways, there was no subject matter, she said. She was like this. I'm not giving you like even a word. This is from five poets who will do 2 to 3 minute speeches based on an experience. Some of them are psychologists, they're writers, they're book authors, they're poets, and they are going to exert each one 2 to 3 minutes, a piece of poetry from something that had, whatever the forum was for. Yeah. I'm not going to mention it. It was a private thing. And you have 18 minutes and you have 7 by 5 foot canvas. I was like, anything you don't get
7 by 5 foot.
So yeah, it's about the green
size
screen
of that
right
screen.
here. Yeah, it's about the green screen. Okay, so
holy shit.
So the purple dioxide squeezing the tube. And it shot, and this doesn't happen often. Instead of going out this, I was like, come on.
Shot up the top.
It shot out the top like a volcanic explosion orgasm.
There's a performance.
Yeah. Okay. And what goes up must come down.
Wow.
Right. So not only did it land on me, but there was a $30,000 screen behind me. And that screen was much larger than the canvas. And it went on the screen.
Oh.
And this was in the beginning. So if I don't get that paint off of that screen within a certain time frame, we're talking formaldehyde from the tube, got to get it off. You're like this. You're like, okay, no tears, keep going, focus on there's a lot going on. There's like the second performer is saying her 2 minute speech, which is like a gut wrenching story of crazy survival. Like the tides are high. The audience is like really, they're like, they heard during the thing that exploded, I was like, no one moved or even breathed during the thing. It was bad.
Wow.
I was like, okay, fully sweating. But composure, keep calm. I've gotten black paint in one of my eyes and had to keep going one-eyed painter.
Wow.
With a lot of people watching. So you got to do what you got to do when you're on stage in those moments. I have my assistant. She's just like, keep going. It's okay. We're going to get the paint off after. Because my back is turned to 1,000 people. I can't see them, but they can see me.
Right.
They can't see my face. So I'm just like dying, dead. And you keep going through these moments. And so, they're taught. And so it's like I get there and I channel into the energy stream. So for this one, actually, they're going to make a plaque out of my explanation for the piece. It ended up being a full transmission of like energy and vibration from this huge, like insanely difficult life hurdle into this like conscious stream of like happy vibrations. I'll send you the photo.
Yeah,
I'll send you the photo of it. Yeah. So we got the purple paint off of the screen and we had like, stage crew after being like Dawn, sponges, spray stuff. And the stage manager who was so cool to me behind stage, he's like, is that purple paint on my screen? I was like, yes. And I'm going to get it off. I was like, are you sure about that? Because I will freak out. I was like, I have insurance just in case because I'm not so sure, but I'm getting it out. And I got it out. It was wow. It was a pretty crazy Tuesday morning.
Yeah, it sounds good. It's good. Yeah, the breath work in the evening.
I'm telling you right now, when I cruised, bye. See ya. I'm out. When I stepped in breath work. Oh, man. A lot of shit came out.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of shit came out.
Oh, my God.
And we had like this whole, 45 people breathing in unison. Mm-hmm. Everything gets cleared, it gets ripped right off your soul. So that's the balance of things that we need to do to make it through this crazy episode of today in one's life. Yeah.
Good you didn't have to invite the stage manager.
He probably could have used it.
Could have used it. Oh,
I invited him. He was cool. His name was JP. He told me his whole story. It was great. We're full buddies. Hugged him in the end. I was like, oh, man, thanks for not freaking out. I was freaking out. It was good.
So that's a 5x7 foot.
It was
just
huge.
Canvas.
Zip blank
canvas.
And it was just, here's Jennifer Valentine from...
Oh, yeah.
She introduced and she was like, and I have no idea what Jessica's going to do, but she's going to do something that has to do with everything that we've discussed this morning.
Damn.
In 18 minutes. And here she goes.
Wow.
Let's see what she does. I was like, yeah, no pressure. Cool. Turn on the button, right? I wasn't always that confident. Yeah. It took me a long time.
Years to do
a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But probably over a decade.
It took me about a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm very extroverted like this.
Yes.
You ask me to speak in front of a class, any excerpt, any one word, I'm like,
yeah.
Can't breathe.
Right.
Yeah.
It took a long time.
Mm-hmm. But you have to get the experience to be able to get the confidence. Like if you've got the experience, you've got the confidence.
Right? I can move, I can dance, I can do a backflip, but can I speak? Or have 1,000 people watching me from the back? Takes a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
Like as a gymnast, right? I performed. As an athlete, I'm performed. You stand up. This is your time.
You've been performing your whole life.
It gets you ready. This is the race. You've got one race. It's either now or never. So performance is crazy. Adrenaline. It's like a sport. Yeah, you don't have a second chance. This is it. So I think that sport athlete mentality has a drive for me. You show up. You play nice with the other kids at school. Everyone is of equal value. We need each other as team. I have all of those. Those are like really what I hold near and dear.
And you've traveled across Canada as a live painter.
I have. I've traveled as far as Australia as a live painter.
Wow.
I know. It's taken me
Did you
everywhere.
paint upside down?
I know, I did. I did paint upside down. And I ended up staying an extra 3 weeks with the owner of the Wyndham Hotel chain who took me around with his family. They were the nicest people ever. I've made some excellent connections just talking about the craft, what I do, being open and traveling with the RBC Canadian Winter Olympics in 2010. Wow. Followed that by 77 shows for Cirque du Soleil in 2012 and 2013 for a bunch of shows.
So you rode around and traveled with the circus.
I did Toronto, Montreal, and I've done one-offs in other cities, but I haven't actually toured with Cirque du Soleil. I toured with the Canadian Winter Olympics.
Right. Cool.
With 273 different people around 57 different cities and towns across Canada.
Wow.
For a large leg of
doing
the relay.
Doing a painting each place?
Twice a day, every day, driver, RBC suit, setup, stage goes up in that city, 200 to 500 kilometers in between. You do it again in the evening, have your dinner, go to sleep, get back in the car, do it again. Twice each day.
Wow.
I know, I have shivers talking.
Wow. Okay, so each and every day, so what, is it a different inspiration each one?
Each one had to be a very specific RBC detailed piece in 6.5 minutes. It was 6 minutes.
What happened to these pieces?
Each piece got donated on behalf of RBC because right after that, the cauldron would get lit from the person who was chosen from that town.
Wow.
And they'd light the cauldron, sing "O Canada," and we'd all go to the next spot.
Wow.
And the relay just kept getting passed until the runners landed at that next spot and the light never went out.
Yeah.
Wow. So these paintings are all out there.
There's tons of them out there. And there was like a non-denominational white suited, like the Olympic, like the
suit.
red glove.
Yeah.
And so I had the same, and each painting's different. There's 57 different paintings, and each one it's the same model, but because you can't paint the same thing twice, they're all different. So I'm like, oh, Hamilton's is pretty good. Niagara got a good one, but Windsor's, that was a really cold day. That one kind of sucked. No offense, Windsor. It's still a good piece. So.
Yeah. That's
so,
amazing.
that was that actually was a real game changer for me. I talk about it a lot because I'd never been on a tour, never knew that was even a dream that was possible for an artist kid who doesn't really know what they're doing, and got a phone call one day and said, want to go on a Canadian tour with the Olympics with RBC? Let me think about it. So these are dreams, and then you realize some value after that, after you have gained some experience, because artists can be taken advantage of, and things can happen, and experiences can come and go, and we hope to treat each other really well out there. So I do hire a lot of various artists for various collabs that I work on, and I try to just, charge stuff. Don't give your shit away.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
This is how we all build and learn. So I really had to learn and build that way. And, it's a business as well.
Yeah.
Because I need to live.
I think that's important, especially like when people are younger and they haven't had the time, that they often undervalue themselves, or like,
big time. Yeah.
Especially as women.
A lot of people laugh at me. They're like, I'm sorry, how much did you say it was? I was like, no, that's $3,500. And they were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
The face changes. It's like, yeah.
And it's like, well, then you're not my audience.
That's normal for me, but we can look at other options.
Yeah.
But, that's normal for me. And you built.
Yeah.
And, that was free for a very long time. And if I can't afford gas money, then something is wrong here.
Yeah.
So, or I have to switch it up and switch jobs.
Right.
So what's it going to be?
Right. But at the same time, at the very beginning of your career, if you're paid really well, it degrades the value of experience as well.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
Mine was very organic.
You gotta grind a bit.
You got to be paid a lot more if entrance. So it's a bit of
I agree.
Bit of a balance.
I agree.
It's but then again, at the beginning of your career, you can take the path and just name a price.
Yeah.
Some people will pay it.
Yeah.
A lot of people won't.
It's true.
It's
true. And I was always very reasonable for what I thought was reasonable, and people just kept putting business cards in my pocket, and it grew.
Yeah.
It's more when you've got the experience and you're undervaluing yourself, which is the problem.
Yes.
Because then you get into a situation where you've worked all this time, put in all this energy, you've got a lot more value than you even appreciate.
It's hard for us to see ourselves.
Yes.
It's hard for us to see ourselves. We're very hard on ourselves. It's hard for us to see the perspective that maybe someone else, like the value that we have to share our craft.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fear or stuff going on.
Like fear, self-doubt.
Women and men. Like it's not just,
women and men for sure.
It's not just like
it's not just women.
And there's fewer women artists out there. Well, it's your path. It's your journey on College Street. And I thank Toronto for a lot of these experiences, because on College Street, there was a garage door that was sitting open. My friends and I, we went to smoke a J, grab some ice cream. We were like 18 or 19. I had this body of work, and I didn't get into art school. And I had it ruined me for a bunch of months. It's like, I'm not painting. I don't even know what I want. How does anyone know what they want to do? So frustrated. A lot of frustrating years. And I walked by this open garage with a bunch of paintings hanging literally from the ceiling and the walls. She was just reading a book, sitting on a high stool like this. And I felt my body stop as soon as I had sort of peeked into the garage and saw what was going on. She was just popping up with her work. Garage door was open. She was just hanging out for anyone who wanted to walk by and have a talk with her.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I just said, I looked at her work. There were nudes. Really, really well done. They were sculpted. They were textured. They were, pretty well proportioned. And I just said, how do you know when you're ready to show all your work to the world? How do you know when you have the courage to put your soul, so exposed that it doesn't everyone seeing you like this close, you be okay with that. And she's like, when you know, you know. It was so easy. It was a very simple answer. When you know, you know. And I looked at her, I was like, I know. Thank you. And I'm ready.
Wow.
And I then had all down College Street, all down Queen West. I took over, and my sister too, we took over like all those cool cafes and bars.
Yeah.
All those awesome upstairs lounges with the great house music. I was like, guys, most of them treated the artwork amazingly. They were like, you want to come live paint? You want to put up your business card? It was just like, I didn't have anything to show you.
Mm-hmm.
I brought the artwork down. I put it up on your walls. I trusted it was going to be okay. I came there to hang out. The vibe was right for the paintings. The music was right for the paintings. And that's how we did it.
Yeah.
Started selling shit.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like,
awesome.
that gave me goosebumps. That's a good story.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember,
I know this
because I would be like, yes. And I'd be like, oh, another, keep seeing your paintings everywhere. And like, whenever I'd see your paintings, knowing you, and I guess even people that don't know you, your paintings evoke a certain emotion of like happiness, excitement, love, smiling,
freedom.
Like good energy.
Yeah, it's good vibes.
And like,
it's a captured moment.
Yeah.
Like I can take you right now and the expression in your eye, and that comes forth. And it's not even if your eyes were closed, you would still emanate an aura. And I had this whole aura art, was born a hippie. That's just it. It's just like it's really colors and love. Like it really is colors, joy, love, and the expression of you. It's like, what else is there?
Do you remember the first sale?
Yeah. It was a game changer. $500, 17 years old, came to my parents' house, looked at the wall, chose the piece. He goes, I heard about you from your sister, and I just got a place. And I bought a new place, and I would like to purchase something. And I was like, from
me?
Very shy. And I just called it out. I was like, that one's $500. And that was all I made the entire month at Le Chateau.
I used to work at Le Chateau.
At the Promenade.
Yeah, I worked.
And I went to Yorkdale there. And so I was like, well, that would be a great, this painting took a few days and the canvas cost some money. And like, that would be great for me to buy more canvas. Every sale was about buying more canvas.
Wow.
How can I go into the candy shop and buy more colors and canvas?
Wow.
That was my candy shop. And that was that's the dream. And when I go into the store now and I'm like, I'll take 10 of those and I'll take 20 of those. It's the best fucking day of my life.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
that's how you know you've got tons of ideas.
Yeah,
Like
they never end.
artists,
They never end.
They never
That's
end.
how you know Which one am I going to choose?
That's part of, how you can, I find that anytime I'm speaking to an artist that is out of ideas or they're searching for ideas, they're never as interesting or as inspiring as artists that have endless ideas and confidence that they always will have ideas.
It's never going to end.
Right.
You can never run out.
That's
as long as your eyes are open.
Yeah.
You've got it.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to come. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be changing.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
So when was the first time you then realized that you could paint more than just canvases, but murals and walls and other things?
Awesome people who have tested out my abilities from far beyond what I knew I was able and capable of doing. Hey, we have this job. I heard
you've
you're a
painted
painter.
a brick
Can you
wall,
not
right?
Paint every surface? What about this? What about that? And things just started to spill over.
Yeah.
After the Olympic Torch Relay Tour and Cirque du Soleil, I got a bunch of other tours. I had this light box, which is an LED sort of like a plexiglass piece you plug in and the paint glows through it. And it was a matter of like subtracting this palette knife so the color could come, the light could come through the color.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And it was like the sand art?
Yeah, like that.
I could constantly change the narrative.
Cool.
So that happened for a while. I still have the light boxes. I don't paint with them as often.
This is like a box you can go into?
It's basically a television, but there's no screen. The screen is just a plug-in LED.
Yeah, and you can draw on it.
And the plexi can be changed over. So I can take off that plexi, put on another piece. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Different. Mm-hmm. More expensive than a canvas.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And so it's only for a certain, I guess, client. And I forgot the question.
Yeah. So you started to draw on like walls.
Everything.
Someone commissioned you for a mural.
Right.
See, what's the biggest piece you've done?
No.
Like a wall?
Nordstrom.
Like an outdoor
Sadly,
wall?
they're closing. Nordstrom was my largest mural at 67 feet in Ottawa at their flagship. That was a really big deal for me. Yeah.
What's happening in that mural?
Yeah.
Do you know?
And the mall will just obtain, it's like an entrance elevator doorway. I don't think they'll take it down, but I'm not in Ottawa to see what's going on. But the Nordstroms in Canada
They're all closing.
are unfortunately closing, and they were one of my biggest clients in the last few years. What the cool thing about Nordstrom is, I'm so sad you're closing, Nordstrom, in Canada, is that their art department in Seattle specifically chose every single piece of artwork and would get it from Canadian and American artists to outfit the stores, mostly originals, which is no one
really
does
nice.
that.
Yeah, that's like super rare.
One does that. They were huge for me. They were awesome. I have all the love and respect for you, and I wish you all the best on your next adventure.
Yeah, a good friend of ours who's really lovely works there, Lauren Addy, who's wonderful. They actually hired some great people
for sure.
in Canada.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've been to all the stores. They're all freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to take over that Yorkdale store.
I know.
It's huge.
The ones on the West Coast, too.
Yeah, totally.
I'm taking over with you guys.
Oh my God.
Endless podcast rooms and art studios and a gymnasium with a trampoline over there where the shoes used to be.
You could do a lot of breath work.
I love trampolines so much.
Let's just go trampoline.
My dad was a gymnastics and trampoline coach. Like, aside from his day job of building hot rods, he was also a part-time trampoline coach and gymnastics coach.
I'd
love to. I want to go to the place where it's jump zone or something.
Let's go. I need to find a spot. There's like adult gymnastics too, apparently.
Yeah.
I need to find these places.
Okay, leave that with me.
Okay, fine.
I love to find new types of fun exercise.
I'm there. I need to do it.
I remember I used to do, because my dad would train a lot of the people that would go to competitions. One of the things we got to do at the gym was there was like a training belt. So you'd be harnessed into the four corners and then you could do all kinds of flips and tricks and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how we would learn. So I did a lot of gymnastics stuff when I was a kid.
It's so fun.
Nice.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Talia too. She was a gymnast.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. So fun.
Tell me about these F I Love You stickers.
I love them.
Yeah. Oh, I brought some for you guys.
Oh, good.
I think so. I think I brought some. And if not, I'll drop them off.
Okay.
Fuck I Love You was a way for me to heal from the hardest breakup, essentially, in New York after my marriage, which was also the hardest breakup.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, without telling all of those stories, the message that I'm trying to send with Fuck I Love You is no matter, and this was like the darkest, I think I really understood the perspective of when people really say that they're grieving over a lost one, that they're never seeing them again, or, someone who's passed. Like this type of darkness, I'd never seen it until a few years ago. I never really understood to the depths of how your mind understands what is going on. Your body, for me anyways, it wasn't really attached to the mental understanding of this is, okay, you got it. This is what's happening. All the body feels and all the pain and the grieving is, how do you deal with that?
Yeah.
And I've never had to deal with it before.
Mm-hmm.
So inside of the grieving process, I think I personally really needed to feel something. I couldn't feel anything. I didn't really understand how it was not to feel anything because I'm such a feeler.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm super affectionate and tactile, and I'm a mover and I'm a shaker, and the energy, I don't know, it was, we all have our own version of what the downs, the darkness looks like, even though you're okay. It takes it takes a little bit of time to flip all of the switches, and each day there could be like a little bit more light that starts trickling in because I did the work. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm going to get out of this, darkness. I'm going to get out of this dependency on I'm going to get out of the confusion. So I looked down at a ring that I had made one day for someone. I was running. I never run. A friend of mine, Jessica, in New York, she's like, you're waking up at 8. We're going on this crazy ass treadmill, glow in the dark New York version of a running club. I was like, I don't run. She's like, you're coming with me. We're getting fancy matchas. And this is what we're doing. Okay, fucking fine. And we're running, and she's just like, you don't run, eh? I'm like this. I'm at full blast on the treadmill. Okay, the strides we're gazelling.
Yeah.
She's like, you don't run. She can't even breathe next to me. She's like, hey. I'm like this, running down. I was like, I look at that ring. I'm like, fucking, so mad. Going crazy. Running it out. Get it out of me. Whatever I can do. Run it out. Sweating, bleeding, crying, distorted, head fell off, put it back on, fucking looked down at the ring. I was like, done. I'm going to do something with you, you fucker, out of love.
Yeah.
So how do I bring the love back in? Fuck, I love you is a note not to the external now, but turning it around to my internal. How am I going to love you, Jessica? And having these fucked up talks with yourself. I know this. No. Oh my God.
Get it together.
You gotta look yourself in the mirror all cross-eyed and discombobulated. Whatever. Seriously. Whatever you gotta do and however many times you gotta do it. Like, pat it down. Feel something, right? So I was like, okay. And that day after the running club, we got a bottle of wine. We went to a New York pizza joint and I got some plexi paper that was like malleable. And I had this wooden table and the owner's like, you're cutting into my table. It's like, I'm going to get another piece. I'm going to get another piece to go into the piece I'm cutting. I'm stabbing the word fuck out. I'm like, fucking fuck. I'm just cutting it. It's not a great stencil. I was like, let's go put it in places. She's like, I'm down. I've been waiting for you to leave your mark on New York City. You fucking awesome bitch. I was like, I am ready. We went out into the streets. I was like, I don't even care who's watching. She's like, remember that you're Canadian in America and this isn't your country. And I was like, but I'm not going to put it on private property. I'm going to put it in public property where there's already other things there. So it makes me feel like I'm not vandalizing. I'm adding to the artistic expression of already enabled community zones. Mm-hmm. We're just adding to the expression.
Right.
So basically within a few days, I covered the city of New York. And then it was like, ding, I'm from Toronto. I'm going home soon. Let's get some more stencils. So I got my graphic designers and I got my friends, and the FUCK was pretty loud and fucking vibrant. So we peace-fingered it out. They were like, just calm down. I know you're really like, yes. The U, the fuck, it just says fuck you. I was like, well, the I and the peace thing, let's like soften it a bit. So there was some finessing there. There was a bit of like, it was a rough start. Mm-hmm. And then it like smoothed into, fuck, I love you peacefully back to self. So I just try to explain it that way. That's my story.
It's beautiful.
And the story continues, a lot of like 5 a.m. crying sessions, hoodie, little Jewish girl from Thornhill. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to put this everywhere. Okay.
Well, I had seen them all over and I didn't know that was you. And then when I found out it was you, I was like,
yep. Yeah, of course it's you.
Of course it's you.
People were like, I can't believe that was you. I was like, yeah, feeling crazy. Now I'm better. I now medicine. Feeling so much better. But and every time I laid one down, I'd like, hang out and sort of watch a passerby, or it was fresh. Some people would just step on it. They were on their phone, or someone would like stop and take their phone out and have a moment with it and like move around the fresh paint.
Yeah.
And it was a social experience, an experiment every single time. Is that the right place? You like peruse the area, you see who's around. I met so many freaky, awesome people. They're like, you're up to something. What are you doing here today? I'm like, Yeah, maybe I'm just looking around. I don't know. I met so many awesome people.
And these on the ground?
I laid on the ground mostly and inside of other graffitied
areas.
Yeah.
Just little spots.
Yeah. Like there's like the wheat pasting. I met excellent artists from around the world. We've exchanged stickers. Yeah, I want to like say a bunch of names. I'm like, which one should I call out? But there's some, So the Fuck I Love You page started multiple, I don't know if it was multiple years after, but I got really nervous when I was in New York and I had, I think it was like CBC call me and asked me if it was me who was doing it. And I was like, you're like, fuck, I was talking to my lawyer. It's not me. I don't know what you're talking about. Bye.
Yeah.
And, it was fresh. And I was a nervous person. I was still in pain. And I really wanted to then not just Toronto, but I go to Montreal for performances. I go to Vancouver for performances. I go to Miami. I was like, oh my God, the world. Right. And I took it as far as Australia. And I did it in like 25 cities all over the world.
Wow.
And that was the year that I had my divorce and all this. I had this like space and I took some savings and I was like, eat, pray, loved it. I didn't even, I didn't even know that that's what I was doing. I was like, bye everybody. Morocco, Paris, London, Amsterdam, Sydney, Melbourne, wherever else I go, all over North America. Like I gotta go. It was a full year.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around what this is. This is a stencil.
Yes.
It's a big stencil.
It's a 12 by 12 inch stencil inside of a heart. There's two stencils. Okay. You lay down the heart first.
You spray the heart.
Yep. Then you wait 30 seconds to a minute. It's a full aerosol spray can.
Spray.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've gone to all the cities of all the spray can stores. Solid big red heart. You got to find a sticker. Solid big red heart. Fuck. With an eye symbol, heart symbol, you, all inside of the heart. Fuck, I love you. And that is now a sticker. I have t-shirts. I sell some stuff. It's really not about money financially for me. It's not monetary. It's like it had to come out and be this world connector of a love gift that's just a thing for whatever you want it to be. There were excellent poetry that's been written. The page has thousands and thousands of images that I've found if I punch in Fuck I Love You from people's moments and experiences, poetry, words, happiness, joys, loves, grieves. Children are in it. Dogs are in it. There's like, what? It was therapy.
Totally.
Therapy.
So you've just bought a new place or moved into a new place?
Yeah. Yeah.
So for an artist, you're renoing?
Yeah, I'm doing a whole gut.
You're doing a gut and reno.
Yeah.
Damn.
Floors.
Damn.
The ceiling. Guys are coming over. We're going to have a nice tequila barbecue. Woo! I'm going to have a sauna in the back, take a dip, back into the whirlpool. I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm going all the way.
That's
It could be like my own little Jess wellness retreat / studio for other people to also play inside of. So the garage will not have my car in it.
No.
It'll be another little element of play. There's going to be a bunch of fun rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
I love this retreat already.
Yeah. You're coming over to the retreat. Yeah, exactly. It's right over there. Yeah.
How long do you think it will take?
I'm probably good within the next 6 weeks.
What?
I'm already getting there. Yeah, it's pretty fast. I have an amazing contractor. And when you have someone that you trust to do the job, and I know that's really unheard of and far and few between, apparently.
It is.
I'm like super chill. I'm calm. It's good. Everything's awesome.
The train goes off the tracks with a bad contractor.
Listen, I said, this is my budget. This is what I have.
Yeah.
And, everyone's like, well, when you say you have this, then it's going to be that. Not right now.
Yeah.
Not yet. Hopefully it's all good.
Yeah.
So I'm actually feeling really confident inside of the reno. It's,
so this summer.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Appliances. We got the floor this morning before I came to see you guys.
Amazing.
The drywallers are already there. Plumbers have already roughed in with electrical.
Great.
Yeah, kitchen's booked April 4th. So, a demo is an incredible amount of learning and stages. And I can't wait to get my lighting system because lighting is everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can come over and check mine out.
I want to have like a disco ball that like retracts down
and
from the pillars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I'm excited to see the place. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's huge. I've waited a really long time.
I mean, I'm excited for you and that you have the space to call your own and turn it into your own retreat. It's kind of like stepping into the mind of you through different rooms, and it's an experience.
That's what it is. Creating your own, and it's for oneself.
Yeah.
How do I want to be inspired by my own space? I want to wake up and literally, I want to be inspired by perforated Moroccan lighting. I want it to be very worldy. There'll be a lot of things that I've seen that are inspiring, that I've loved, and now I get to create that inside of my bubble.
I love it. Amazing.
Yeah, it took a long time to get here, but we're here. So hard work and perseverance, it works. Something happens.
It's amazing how that
it does work. Actually, does work. No one's gonna just give it to you. So you better go and make your way through the trenches, and then there's sunshine and rainbows. They really are there. They exist.
Amazing.
Any tours coming up or anything coming up this spring?
No tours. Yeah, in my backyard. You can come and find me there on tour. I'll be hanging out.
Perfect.
They do pop up every now and then. It's possible. I'm open to it. I love that Canada took me to see Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And corporate took me to see Canada. Mm-hmm. And Toronto has given me incredible opportunities that were far, far beyond the expectation of dreams. It's real, like, inside of an artist painter, it's, it's like, oh, no, there's like a really, an abundant opportunity waiting for a lot of us. There's room. I used to be really, concerned and competitive. There's room for all of us. I do believe there's room for all of us to explore and succeed your craft.
Amazing.
I think that's a beautiful way to end it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you for having me
so much. Honestly,
you're so special.
You're so wonderful. And so I had goosebumps like 3 or 4 times this episode, and I've laughed a lot. And just being around you and your whole vibe is so absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.